People, it's Saturday, April 15th, 2017 at 6:35 p.m. And today I want to talk about um, whether or not it's considered lying if a trans person does not disclose that they're transgender, specifically in dating situations. So, a little backstory. I have been watching Catfish, the TV show, like the MTV TV show, like religiously for the past like week and a half. I'm just like obsessed with it. And yesterday I saw this video where, not this video, this episode where this girl was like talking to this guy for like, I don't know, it was like 4 years or something. And like, I guess like whenever they would like Skype or whatever, like she would always be like really close to the camera like this. And so like the guy, let's say his name is like Trevor couldn't see her body. And I think like Trevor like contacted Catfish and then they got in contact with her and she was like, I have a secret and like I don't know, like I don't know that I want to meet him because of my secret. And I was like, oh, she's totally trans. They were guessing that she was like pregnant or heavier than she actually was. I was like, no, this girl is clearly trans, like obviously. And I was right. But it was just so sad because this girl felt so inept in her like gender identity. First of all, anytime she was on camera, she would have her arms like over her stomach, like hiding her body. And I can only assume, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel that one would do that because maybe she hadn't had bottom surgery yet, or maybe doesn't want it at all, either or. And she was just like really covering her stomach and was very insecure. And like the episode basically ended with her like meeting him and like walking away because she was so uncomfortable and was so afraid of being judged. And like I'm kind of annoyed about a couple things because she met with Neve and Max to reveal that she was transgender because she wanted to give like Trevor the opportunity that once he knew to decide whether or not he wanted to still meet her, which is really fucking sad that they had this relationship for 4 years and really liked each other. And then she felt so, worthless and as if she didn't matter that she had to give him the option about whether he still wanted to meet her. Like that just makes me sad. And then what makes me sad and angry was that this motherfucker Trevor, when he found out, he like, okay, he didn't freak out, but he didn't take it very well. He was like, oh God, oh, and he like runs to like the garage to like smoke a cigarette because he was like so stressed out. Like, she's still a woman. Like, literally, you are not being catfished. You have been talking to a woman for the past 4 years. She didn't lie to you. She's not a man. Like, she is a woman. So why you're getting all dramatic and shit is like beyond my understanding. I don't get it. Like, you were talking to a girl. Like, you know what I mean? You fell in love with a woman. So like, calm the fuck down. But anyway, he decided to meet her. And they met and she ended up like walking away. But the point of this video, or rather the reason I wanted to make it, is because I'm really impressed with MTV. Because at the end of the episode, Neve and Max made like just a little like minute long like speech to the camera. And they said that like if a trans woman does not out herself, it doesn't mean that she's like lying to you. Like she's not considered a liar. And they went on to say that it is up to a trans person when and if they want to disclose their transgender status. And then they touched on how like trans women have violence perpetrated against them when cis men find out that they're trans. And I just thought it was a really nice extra step that they took to like advocate for trans people. Because what I thought was really beautiful is each commercial break, it was like, if you or someone is trans, go to like trans.lookdifferent.com. And I looked at the website and it was really positive. It was like just resources for trans people and stuff. So I think MTV is really doing their part and trying to like, you know, they've had true life episodes about trans people, and I think that's really cool. But okay, so what are my thoughts on this? I don't think it's lying if we don't disclose that we're transgender to potential, uh, well, to friends, number one, but especially when it comes to romantic things. I think it's a safety thing that you should, because people do get angry and people do get violent when they find out that, you know, you were born potentially in the same gender that they were. That, you know, is an issue for people, and especially with trans women, because for some reason trans women are still looked at men by like much of the population, or like a chick with a dick or a girl with a penis, and it's like, no, she's a fucking woman. Get over yourselves. And so like my personal experience with this is I've been on dating sites, like I would say maybe like 4 times in my entire life. And I would say 2 of those times were after I came out as trans. And the reason I didn't like being on these sites, and the reason I'm not anymore, is because I certainly before did not look masculine enough, and I felt very self-conscious putting my gender as male when I just looked like a butch female. I figured people were just gonna assume that I was a lesbian and that no women were gonna be interested in me. So I thought, you know, bite the bullet and just put in my profile that I'm a transgender man. And like, I had like a couple cis heterosexual men message me and be like, hey girl, what's up? And I'm like, did you read my profile? Cause I'm a guy. And then they never responded. And then I talked to like this one girl for a little bit, and she hadn't read my profile. Like she just looked at me as a woman and thought that I was an attractive woman, and like didn't see that I identify partly as male. And it's just really frustrating. So personally, I don't online date because I don't like having to explain myself to people. And I don't really pass seamlessly as either gender at this point. Like I kind of look in between both depending on what I'm wearing. Like right now, I think I look like a man in a wig. I don't think I look very feminine. But maybe someone's looking at this and is thinking like, oh yeah, that's definitely a girl. I don't know. I don't care. That's none of my business. Like some guy like literally took off his hat. Some guy literally today like took off his hat today and was like, hello, dear. And I was like, okay. Like literally just like walking down the streets in Brooklyn. I was like, all right, cool. But anyway, I guess this is all to say that I don't think it should be considered lying if a trans person does not disclose their transgender status. They are who they say they are. Genitalia and all that shit, like, doesn't have to do with gender. They're 2 completely different things. You can have a penis and identify as a male. You can have a vagina and identify as a male, you know? You can have a vagina and identify as a female. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's how you define yourself. So that's what I think. And maybe some people agree, maybe some people don't, but I just don't think it's a big deal. But I understand the other side of it and how people can say that that is lying, especially when it comes to trans women. I can understand people being confused, but that's because they're uneducated and they haven't taken the time to educate themselves. So I think once people got educated that being transgender is a thing and that you're not sick or crazy or mentally ill or whatever, that they'll get over it and see that you are who you say you are. You define yourself and nobody else can do that for you. So those are my 50 cents on the opinion. Yeah, so let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree. And, you know, I'm wondering if this is going to be the video where I'm going to get people that are not transgender, that are against transgender people, that are going to say to me, no, it's lying. Bring it on. I want to hear your opinion. Just be respectful and don't be a dick. But I'm welcome to hear what other people think. Because I think it is an important issue, and it's not talked about, but it is. You know, violence is constantly happening against trans women, and That shit needs to stop. And it's because they did not disclose that they were trans. It's not our obligation to tell other people how we identify. Like, that's not my job. I don't need to be telling everyone all the time I'm gender fluid. I identify partly as male and partly as female. I don't need to do that. It's not my responsibility. So, there we go. And have a nice day.